Hey, what's going on? It's me, Laura Maniec, Cork Buzz, here with our YouTube channel talking about blind tasting. And so this is our 4th episode of blind tasting in my living room, and Amber Rill, my colleague and right-hand girl, she set me up with this bottle of wine, blind tasting. We don't know. I asked her for white this time because the 3rd episode had red. And we're just gonna taste it together. Are you ready? By the way, it's been a crazy week. I've had like a doozy of a week. A little bit stressful, a lot going on, but we're here together, so we're all good. Okay, so first things first, it's white wine. Pretty obvious, but actually it's white, but I noticed this weird thing when I poured it just now, that it like looks sort of pink hued, or gray or silver. Maybe it's a silver lining in my tough week, I don't know. But that's just an observation, because like I haven't seen this color in a long time in a white wine. Anyway, it's not perfect lighting, but here we go. On the site, the wine is clear, it's young, it's fresh. That's that silver kind of pale straw color, maybe like a slightly watery edge. Kind of looks like that like little water band that maybe suggests elevated alcohol or just something a little bit out of the norm. Viscosity is pretty quick to form, quick to fall. So maybe that doesn't agree with the alcohol call. So we'll see when we smell and taste. Other than that, no sediment, no gas, nothing floating. We're all good. The nose is interesting. It's sort of like delicately powerful, if that makes sense. There's something about this wine that screams like, this is important, but at the same time it's subtle. So let's digest that idea. Maybe there's a little rubber, synthetic, plastic, inner tube, kerosene. I'm not suggesting Riesling, like smell of like a garden hose or anything, but there's a little like plastic, synthetic. I don't know how else to describe it. So I'm gonna have to pick that smell up and like put it to the side, because it feels like that could overpower the wine. What's underneath that smell? Honeysuckle, orange blossom, maybe even a little lychee, underripe tropical fruit, pineapple, mango skin, passion fruit. So it's floral, it's not neutral, it's not herbaceous, has some exotic flavors, smells. Non-fruit aromas include that smell of petrol, or quite not really petrol, but just like plastic inner tube. Almost like there's a little bit of alcohol there. I can't tell if it's alcohol that's getting into my like in between my eyes, or if it's maybe that smell that reminds me of like gasoline that's doing that, but we'll like discover what's going on in a minute. I think the wine is young, it's youthful, it even has a grapey quality to it. No evidence of new oak, stainless steel, neutral tank. It's not about, vanilla clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, none of that. Can't get past that smell. Kind of like, yeah, plastic. It sounds like a bad thing. It's just very distinct. It's not bad. Interesting. The wine is clean, no flaws. It's got an off-dry quality to it. Like there's some residual sugar in this wine, which is very interesting because it didn't necessarily smell like it was gonna have residual sugar, but you can't smell sugar, so that makes sense. But there's very few wines in the world that have residual sugar, leftover sugar, sugar that's not fermented. Certain grapes present like that. So it kind of narrows our scope of what the wine could be. I'm assessing the structure of the wine. The structure is body, alcohol, acid, tannin for red wine, mouthfeel, glycerol, phenolic bitterness for whites. So it's interesting because the wine has like a thickness, a glycerol component that probably is coming from the residual sugar. It seems like for a light wine, it has elevated alcohol. Like I wouldn't say like 14, 15, but for the body, the alcohol is slightly in disconnect. as the body appears to be like lighter without the glycerol or the alcohol. So there's something going on that's making it disconnected. High elevation. Interesting. It has like almost like an oak thing, but almost like a young oak, like oak stave or something. It's very weird. It's like the peppermint or like it almost reminds me of Long Island for a minute. I don't know why that is, but it's like Long Island Chenin Blanc. It's just so bizarre. I was like, that's like the least logical thing it could be, but that's what it smells like for a minute. But I think, you know, oddly, I think it's New World. I think that the petrol or the plastic or the synthetic or the inner tube really does remind me of New World. And there's not a lot of minerality. There's not a lot of non-fruit aromas besides that kind of like rubbery thing. It's got like a candied lime, like almost like a roses lime versus like natural lime juice. The acid is relatively low. I mean, I might call it medium minus. Body of the wine, again, a medium plus, but it's like by a certain standard. I would say 1 to 3 years old, New World, possible grapes, Torrontés from Argentina, from a region called Salta where there's high elevation, Chenin Blanc, Riesling from New York State, like the Finger Lakes. I guess it could be Muscat from Alsace. Gewürztraminer, it's low acid. Doesn't really have the lychee and rose petal and spice, but the acid call is right for Gewürztraminer. I think I'm gonna have to like lean into the fact that it has RS, residual sugar. I don't know, my mind is like Gewürz, acid. I really want to call Long Island. I mean, this is like out on a limb here. I don't think the acid is strong enough to be Riesling. I'm in between Torrontés, which really makes sense, but it's almost not there. No, I gotta call Torrontés. I think this is Argentina. It's 2022. It's Torrontés. It's from Argentina, Salta, Salta, quality producer. And let's see. This is a little bit longer than I would like to have gone. That's crazy. That's very difficult. This is called Stargazer Tupelo. It's Tasmania, Australia, Coal River Valley, part Pinot Gris, part Riesling, part Gewürztraminer, wild fermented. So it is New World. I would never have guessed this combination of grapes. I think the most important thing is it's an aromatic. That was where we were getting the Gewürz. There's Riesling, but it's not all Riesling. It's neutral because it's Pinot Gris, and I got it right wrong. So there you go. Got a blind taste more of these new